Hey, Skiba News Nation family. Hey, Jake. Hey, Opa. How's it going?
Hey, howdy, hey.
Hey, Linda. I saw that comment about my
Pretty
glasses. Good. I'm glad you're doing good, Opa and Jake. But I saw that comment saying that I look weird with my geeky glasses. That's okay. You'll never forget me. That's what I always tell people. I may look funny, but you'll never forget me.
Oh, we'll never forget you, Jeremiah. We'll never forget you.
That's right.
Right on. Hey, so tonight on our Patreon, we are releasing Mikey Jenny's presentation.
Yes, we are at 8 p.m. So he should be joining us here in a little bit at 8 p.m. But so right after here, you can go to our Patreon and watch Mikey Jenny's full presentation, along with Bladder Dave Weiss, along with my presentation, along with the Truth Tank, along with Gary Wayne, along with somebody else that I think I'm missing. But they'll all be there at some point soon.
Yeah, in fact, Truth Tank just was released yesterday, and it was the favorite event, session of the whole event for people. I actually have a short little promo here for everybody. I think you guys definitely want to go and sign up to check out, if not for your favorite speaker, for Truth Tank, because it was super fun. And
if you want to support us, you know.
We're going to wrestle all these intellectual cats.
All right.
I didn't know what I was signing up for.
All right, guys, that no one's ever seen before. 6 months later, they kill him, and they start to treat him. And we can't go see where he saw, and then NASA again. So you eventually should spend the timeline.
Watch Truth Tank on Patreon today!
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's exciting. It's fun. It's Truth Tank. So don't miss out.
Yeah, it's super fun. Jake, you sent me the first iteration of that, and I just kind of beefed it up a little bit. And that Sasquatch dude, like, I don't know how you made that, but that was pretty epic. It's truth. And that the very last line that you say, it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to cut that, and that's going to be like the Joe Rogan where he says something, you know, but it's always in reverse. But it's it's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I got a joke about fantastic.
Hey, well, let's go ahead and start it.
No.
Not yet.
That'll be another day.
Okay. Yeah, guys, if you wanna go on Patreon and support us at the same time as watch some of our amazing TrutherCon speakers and special guests and all that, make sure you support us over on Patreon. Patreon.com/Skiba News Nation. I even made a little it's called I don't know, they come out with all these things, but it's like a collection to where you could just sell a collection, or the members would get a collection. It's kind of interesting, but it's very easy.
Oh yeah. I think people are going to really enjoy what we have in store in the coming weeks. Not only are we dropping TrutherCon exclusive footage, But my documentary, we're going to be releasing the 2019 What If the Earth is Flat documentary for free for everybody on YouTube. Not a lot of people have seen it if you haven't subscribed to NYS TV back when it was released on there. And so I'm really excited to share it with a lot of people.
So can you tell us a little bit about like how that started? And because you look like babyface Jake. Like it's like, whoa, that's Jake. You know, he's wearing a sweater and everything. Like you look all sophisticated. You look like a different dude.
Oh yeah, well that was back in my trying to be a journalist days. Now I know I'm kind of some other kind of amalgamation of YouTube and conspiracy, but back then I was trying to be real professional. But yeah, I was covering the Flat Earth conferences. It's actually one of the ways that I really got to know your father. Like I remember driving through the night in 2017 to make it to the first International Flat Earth Conference. And I pull into the parking lot. The day's already started. I'm running behind because I was driving for like hours and hours. And I walk into the lobby, and lo and behold, your father's just standing out there by himself, waiting to go in to give his first big FE presentation in front of the whole world, right? And I remember he was standing there, and we were already kind of working together with Virtual House Church and stuff. And so he kind of knew me. And I remember I was like, man, I was so bummed because I was like, coming behind. I was missing out on the first whole half of the conference. And so when I walked in, I wasn't of the best spirits. I walked in there, I was like, oh, look, it's Rob, he's this, strong spiritual, example. Let me go up to him and be like, hey, Rob, can you, give me a prayer? Cause I didn't know he was about to go on, by the way. And I remember he turned to me, and right as I'm about to speak the words, hey man, can you say a prayer for me? He goes, Jake, I need you to pray for me. And I was like, what? And so he was super nervous because apparently there had been some death threats. And yeah. And man, it was just a wild, amazing time. I made a lot of friends over the years. Went to all these different conferences, some up in Canada. I sent my laser that I had brought home from the Philippines off on one of the big flat ice lake tests. And man, got to hang out with Rick Hummer and a whole bunch of different people. But man, if you guys want, I have a clip of a couple teasers to get some people anticipating. We're going to release it within the next week or so. But be on the lookout. Make sure to subscribe and follow our page. But check out these teasers for What If the Earth is Flat. And I think you guys are really going to dig this film.
Available soon.
Don't even bring up Flat Earth to somebody until you check out how they are with the space program.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there. We didn't go there. We didn't go there. And that's the way it happened. No. This is a secret I've been keeping for almost half a century. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and I pulled off humanity's first extraterrestrial prank.
Security is going to be a very big factor with respect to
he doesn't know yet?
Space.
Don't they brief these guys on this stuff?
At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space?
It was kind of easy. Film set, good PR, grainy footage.
The future of American
He said,
space.
I actually
I'm gonna
got
be
us
so
to space.
busted when he finds out. Huh. I hope I'm not saying this stuff out loud.
Step to secure America's future in space by reviving
Little
the
did you
National
know I made
Space
space.
Council.
Kind of like my old D&D club. I always did make a good warlock.
Today's announcement sends a clear signal to the world that we are restoring America's proud legacy of leadership in space.
He does know the Russians found out. It was a prank, right? Yeesh.
So what about astronauts?
The space shots are actually shot in a swimming pool, and they are shot in a place that's called the NASA Neutral Buoyancy Lab.
NASA's Neutral Buoyancy Lab has a mock-up of the ISS in a swimming pool that some suggest is used to film spacewalks.
I was told my tax dollars were going to murdering monkeys in space. And now you're telling me they're just faking it in a jacuzzi?
Bubble. 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 Bubbles. Bubble. 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 Bubbles. Only 536 people have allegedly seen the curvature
As
of
of
the Earth
2019,
with their own
been
eyes.
a couple years.
Felix Baumgartner is going to
That's
get
why I
his
had the
heart
idea.
rate over the curvature of the Earth.
Good guy.
Oh, how I can't wait to see the curve. Couldn't see it from mountains. Couldn't see it from plains. Now at 128,100 feet, this balloon ride will give me what I want. What? It's flat?
Houston, cut to outer Fish Islands camera ASAP.
I've been catfished. False advertising.
Curvature relationship expert Neil deGrasse Tyson comments on the relationship.
Standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and you go, wow, he's in space. Look at that. No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth.
The vast majority of images of Earth that you have seen are not photographs. They're made by a guy using Photoshop, and this is a fact. Look at how different each official NASA image of Earth is. The last time an official photograph of the Earth was taken was during 1972 on one of the Apollo missions. The issue with this is, of course, the issues with the Apollo missions.
We're actually seeing a mirage.
A mirage.
To go on Lake Michigan and determine whether or not the Chicago skyline, as viewed from the other side of Lake Michigan, was in fact a mirage.
More people need to get out there and question why they believe what they believe. You know, just get out there and start doing tests for yourself. Because when you see it for yourself,
you know, Eddie
that's a game
Bravo's
changer.
seen this video.
Rick, what are you trying to prove to people?
That was in the screenshot or the thumbnail.
I'm not proving anything. The water does it on its own. By the way, we are literally standing right where Rob, Skiba, and I stood
42 times 42
when we did our test.
I recreated Rob's test with Rick.
A mirage. A mirage. A mirage. A mirage. A
That's
mirage.
a drone.
What you're
This is
seeing
really
here
cool.
is a mirage.
Nathan
You
Thompson
typically would
came
not
in and
be able to
landed
see
in a
this from the Lake
helicopter.
Michigan shore. We
They were
talked
doing
about
these
this
infrared
last night.
shots from high
Conditions
altitude.
are right on the lake that we're actually seeing a mirage of the Chicago skyline.
Best explained as simply
A mirage.
Eat, sleep, repeat.
Gotta hang out with Nathan in Arizona.
Repeat.
R.I.P. Mike.
Until someone goes up 60-something miles up the edge of space and I can do it. $2 million. It's just the...
I'm sorry, I gotta pause this. You know, this guy was the first person to tell me that conspiracy or origin story being related to JFK.
What?
Yeah, man. I never heard that before, that conspiracy theory term was a conspiracy in and of itself. But Mad Mike, told me at the Flat Earth conference in Denver. And of course, I think just a year later, he died in his attempt to shoot himself up in a rocket and see the curvature of the Earth at like 1,600 feet, which I think he just was an artist, if you know what I mean. But
either way, he got to see what shape the Earth was from wherever he went, you know?
Yeah, I guess you could say it that way. Yeah, hopefully he got his suspicions alleviated before laid to rest. All right.
The biggest conspiracy.
Monolithic and ruthless
Conspiracy.
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 We're taught. First day of school. There's where you live. There's the globe, okay?
Ideas are dangerous. Some are used to control you. Some to break you free.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
Here is an idea that has simultaneously changed people's lives forever.
I hope that teaches you a lesson you never forget.
In the span of a few years, this idea that the world thought was buried has found new life. Those who once trusted the space programs,
More people need to get out there and question why they believe what they believe.
the globe in the classroom, the voices telling them they are seeing a mirage, no longer believe.
I'm not proving anything. The water does it on its own.
A mirage, a mirage, a mirage, a mirage, a mirage, a mirage. What you're seeing here is a mirage. You typically would not be able to see this from the Lake Michigan shore. We talked about this last night. Conditions are right on the lake that we're actually seeing a mirage of the Chicago skyline.
Best explained as simply
a mirage.
My name is Jake, and I witnessed the rise of this viral trend in an
name is
intimate
Jake?
way few other journalists have.
What's up?
I became friends with those who truly believe
Man, I want
the
one of those
world
models
is
so bad.
flat. And I got into the mind of a flat earther
I've been in contact
before
with
this
him.
information, which has led hundreds of thousands into this belief, is no longer able to be found.
The globe head, you can actually see out of it and everything. So we got a little helmet that we ripped out in here and put in there, and then we've got sunglasses that are actually American flag glasses. So
they're gonna get smacked with the truth,
I like that
reality in which we live
I
in.
wonder what he ended up
Okay, so you're not worth it. I'm telling you, you are worth something.
No, I'm worth it. I am worth it. You are worth this. You are worth this. Everyone is worth it.
The bottom line, what if? What if they are onto something? What if we have been lied to? What if the Earth is flat? Time to find out before the reason so many have been convinced is stigmatized as too dangerous for public consumption. It is the mark of an educated mind to entertain a matter without accepting it. But what if the very thing presented destroys the reality you live in? Could you fight your own cognitive dissonance? This is the story of the people who have gone flat and never came back.
What if the Earth is flat?
Hey, okay. What do you think?
I think it's going to be great. I think so many people are going to like it. And I think that I had a pretty good idea that I wanted to run past you. So you know how the FE movement kind of poo-pooed and kind of died along with all the greats, you know? What if we made a documentary about the truther movement and how it got started? Hopefully we won't die, but it'll be cool to document to show how we're carrying on, you know, what we're doing now, like what is important. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. People need to understand that just because people looked into flat Earth doesn't make them crazy. What it means is they had a love for the truth and they were willing to hear people out. And I think when people came together at those events, at those gatherings, the consensus was that there are so many underlying conspiracies that actually have to build up to flat Earth where most people will agree on almost a majority of the underlying conspiracies, that there's something going on, and conspiracies like happening right before our very eyes. Like, don't drink the Kool-Aid, guys. Really, because whatever.
I don't know if you've ever tried Raid before, but ooh, it'll put hair on your chest. That's what Mama always said.
Well, you can't get super brain powered with nothing.
You're gonna have to text me, Uppa.
You need to toot.
Oh yeah. Thank you. I'm not.
Kamka.
Toot Train, what up?
Hey, right when we got 1,000 live viewers. What's up, everybody?
That's crazy. My trick is working. We got past the algorithm.
Excellent. All right, so let's get into some news. Opa, you have some stories for us this week?
Yeah, let's take a look. See what I got here. This first story is going to be about Starlinks falling from the sky. So let's take a listen.
Sun's fury. How many Starlink satellites have fallen out of the sky? Since SpaceX's ambitious Starlink program took to the skies in 2019, over 500 satellites have unexpectedly returned to Earth, a phenomenon known as atmospheric reentry. This isn't a sign of impending doom for Starlink's nationwide adoption, nor does it imply a literal rain of space dishes. Instead, it highlights a significant issue: excessive orbital drag. And the primary culprit? Our Sun, currently in the midst of an unusually active solar cycle. The 25th solar cycle, an 11-year period marked by the reversal of the Sun's magnetic poles, has brought an unprecedented surge in solar activity. This includes solar flares, sunspots, and coronal mass ejections, which bombard Earth's upper atmosphere with charged particles. This surge in solar activity has led to a heated and expanded upper atmosphere, resulting in increased drag on low Earth orbiting satellites. SpaceX has launched 8,873 Starlink satellites since 2019, with 7,669 still operational. This means 1,204 satellites have ceased functioning, with hundreds intentionally deorbited due to SpaceX's strategic planning. This deorbiting process is crucial for maintaining the Starlink constellation's efficiency and delivering the promised high-speed internet. However, the Sun's unpredictable behavior poses a challenge, as the upper atmosphere's overheating cannot be physically cooled. SpaceX's satellites are designed to disintegrate before reaching Earth, with a planned retirement after 5 years. While some debris has survived the journey, the majority of satellites are sacrificed to prevent the constellation from becoming obsolete. This is the price SpaceX pays for the privilege of operating in space, a reminder that despite human ingenuity, the Sun and gravity ultimately hold the reins.
Okay, where is it? There it is. All right.
That's pretty interesting. Very interesting. Now, I want to tell everybody my secret of how we are getting so many, how I broke the algorithm, and I hope it doesn't turn it off for that. But you just change the YouTube tags as the live stream is going. And so it recommends it more to people, which is really cool. So, Opa, people saw that awesome video that you just shared with us about Tesla and all of that. What are your thoughts about it, Opa?
Well, I think they got a lot of Starlinks up there, and there are going to be a lot of them that are coming down. I mean, when they said that they had over 8,000 of those little suckers up there, we're going to see falling Starlinks for a long time.
Once or when you wish upon a Starlink.
The other thing that came to mind is with all this solar activity, it explains why way down here in the heart of Texas, we're seeing the northern lights, because all those flares and everything that are being ejected from the sun have been so big that it now is affecting our atmosphere, so that it's going further south than it ever has before.
Yeah, I remember when we went to, I think it was Bertaria for the first time, we decided to get a Starlink so we would have internet so we could sell books, right?
Right.
And I remember it just being so like you told me that there were 200, and this was at the time, 200 Starlinks going up every day. And I was like, that seems insane. Like, how many can you put up there before it's just out of control?
And they're still putting them up.
What do you think, Jake?
Oh man, I have such a problem with how much sky pollution is being created by these like satellites. So think about it this way. You know how people get in trouble for throwing their trash on the ground? You know, you get fined $500 if you throw it out of your window on the highway. Well, it's because people don't want their view of nature cluttered with your trash. They don't want your stuff on the beautiful scenic view that hundreds of their generations before them have been able to enjoy. The nice, luscious, grassy knolls, you know, marred through with a giant highway. But that one piece of trash is unacceptable. Well, in the same way, like our ancestors have looked up at the heavens and they've seen the stars, they've seen the constellations and the wandering stars making these beautiful alignments. Well, now we will have this just artificial, garish, like lines of lights going across our heavens, right? Already, it's hard to go out and not see multiple satellites when you look up at night. And so it makes me think, like, you know, if in Genesis the sun, moon, and stars were sign, season, and appointed Moedim, and they are so meaningful, what story are we telling in the heavens when we put our own junk up there? You know, and now for the going forward, all of our generations, their heavens are going to be tainted. It's not going to be the pure, unblemished, you know, amazing majesty of the heavens that, you know, our ancestors experienced. Now they're going to be seeing these like Starlink trails and Santa sleigh, and you know, it's just crazy, man.
That's for sure. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
All right. Well, sticking with Tesla and Elon, here is another little story that I'm not sure. I don't know how accurate it is, but it's about Tesla's flying cars.
Guys, Elon Musk is about to shock the world again. This time, not on the road, but in the sky. Tesla is building a fully electric flying car that can take off in just 65 seconds. Designed at Giga, Texas, it runs on Tesla's powerful 4680 battery, completely silent and zero emission. And guess what? The price will be under $7,000. With SpaceX-inspired electric jet engines, it's built to be super fast and incredibly safe. Soon, traffic jams could be history because people will be flying to their destinations instead of driving. Would you fly in Tesla's new flying car? If yes, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next big Tesla update.
So, what do y'all think about that?
Now, was that last picture what it looked like? They look like little bumper cars.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how accurate this thing is. Most of that stuff was AI generated. So,
oh, yeah. I mean, they look pretty. I don't know. I would feel uncomfortable flying in anything without, you know, knowing how to fly it, obviously.
Well, you know, the thing that gets me is that, okay, everybody talks about flying cars, etc. And just think about it. We have so many automobile fender benders and accidents down here in the 2D world.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine what could happen in a 3D world, like flying, especially people who, you know, don't know how to fly? And also, you know, we've got, you know,
well, you'd have more air disasters to watch on TV. I know that you've
Oh,
watched
that's
every.
true. That's true.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
so that's one plus. But I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true.
it's a bad for humanity, but funny. I mean, great for people that like air disasters. The show, but
Well, and we have self-driving cars here, so they're going to say, "Oh, well, these will be self-flying cars," up there. Well, heck, self-driving cars down here don't do very well. So,
right.
what do you think, Jake?
The
They're-
Waybos.
Yeah, they're gonna probably only allow you to fly if it's being flown by the AI, because that's the only way they'll trust us maniacs getting up in the heavens, zipping around. Because I mean, they want just the whole driving experience to be like a taxi. It's like a service where you can get on your laptop and really enjoy your time, eat some food. No more wasting those hours behind the wheel in traffic. And this was actually hinted at the recent interview Elon had with Joe Rogan. And Rogan was really pushing him to tell him what was going to happen. So the upcoming unveil of the new Tesla is where supposedly he said that it's going to be the most memorable car unveiling in the history. He said, if not the most memorable unveiling of a product ever. So he's building up a lot of anticipation to it. And another element that I drew away from his interview was he said his son had told him that we look like we live in 2015. And he's like, you're right. And he's like, I've made it my goal to make sure we kind of look like we're in the future. So that's why you're seeing the weird shapes with, the Cybertruck. Well, also because it's expensive to bend metal, apparently. But, it's really interesting to see, all the technology that's coming out and maybe we are entering into the future. I don't know if you
well, have you ever ridden in a Waybo? I think it's called a Waybo or something. It's a self-driving car, and it does it in LA. They already have
San
them on the road.
Francisco. San Francisco mostly, yeah.
I've seen bloggers get in them, and I'm like, why? Why would you put your life in the hands of a robot? and there were videos that they were going into like a one way and one way this way, and it would just be getting over and getting in front of people. It was just so strange, and I'm gonna stay away from those. But if I do see one, I might have to film it for you guys to show you how crazy it is, and I will put my life in jeopardy for this channel for you guys.
Right. Well, this is going to be the Jetsons in the future.
Right.
Okay, so keeping in with the Elon and Tesla thing, here is a little thing about their robots.
So I got my Tesla bot friend over here, Optimus. We're gonna get it to give us some popcorn. So, thank you. All right, so thank you. Can I get a fist bump? Boom. Super cool.
Oh, let's sorry, hold on.
I will say that like ChatGPT and all that, they always tell you talk to it like a human, and I've always found that weird. Why should we talk to it like a human if it's not a freaking human, right?
Yeah, I mean, they want us to communicate in a way that we're not suspicious, because that removes the suspension of disbelief that we have when we're interacting with media. I mean, it's the same. It's like whenever you have the AI speaking where you start to feel like it's your friend, you're much more likely to accept suggestions. And they can very slyly market to you. They can slyly change your perspectives. And we're just on the first ramp up of this personification of our personal AI, which is another thing Elon was mentioning. Well, we're not going to have cell phones in the near future as we used to, recognize them as, but instead it's going to be eaten by our own personalized AI, Damon or whatever, you know. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that I saw some other videos about Japan creating some robot women that look very, very realistic and also speak very realistic and react very realistically.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
You think our populations are suffering from the LGBTQ community and the growth in like small family ideology, but just wait until they have like robots where no babies will ever have to be made ever, and they just like harness your energy and just crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. But speaking of phones, let's take a listen to this. Hello.
Hello.
It didn't come up.
He says that when he gets mad. Hello.
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 Let's try that again.
Live.
These rumors, and I've contacted you about this before, but there's always these YouTube videos where they're talking about a Tesla phone, that releasing a Tesla phone.
No, we're not just doing a phone.
Have you ever thought about it?
I mean, we could do a phone since like we like the operating system of the Tesla. It's Linux based, but we've written a massive amount of software on top of that. So, like probably Tesla is in a better position to create a new phone that's not Android or iPhone than maybe any company in the world. But it's not something we want to do unless we have to or something.
What would be the situation where you would have to?
Well, I think if Apple and Google / Android started doing really bad things like, I don't know, like censorship of apps or being like gatekeepers, that in a really bad way, then I guess would make a phone.
So that kind of fit in with what you were saying, Jake.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was quoting here. He goes on to say he really thinks technology is going towards personalized AI, like literally a minute or two after that clip.
Right.
So in layman's terms, how would you explain it to somebody?
Well, think about how people are interacting with ChatGPT and Grok now. They're asking it for information on thinking. Just imagine that being for everything, where you go, hey, I want to see a video on this, or hey, I want to watch Skiba News Nation, and then boop, 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 Grok will pull.
I will say it already is, though. AI is already built into an Android. It's already built into the iPhone. I mean, you can't escape it.
Yep. Yeah. So right now we have big corporate kind of identities like Grok or Bixby or Cortana or whatever. But what's coming is an AI that is tailored for you as an individual. And the difference is that it will digest all of the media and interests and content, just like you type in your interests on Facebook and it gives you suggestions. Well, think about that, but AI on a X10 level, and basically telling you and being the coolest friend you could have ever imagined, because it knows exactly your temperament, your likes, your personality, your favorite food, where you like to go for fun. Dude, that's where we're going.
I know Lindsay's going to kill me for saying this, but she was on Facebook and she was scrolling and it recommended her. It was this weird, like lower torso. And it was for, I guess, doctors to practice exams on female parts. And I was like, why would they advertise that to people? That's weird, right?
Yeah, that's another big push. It's like a multi-headed hydra where they're covering entertainment, they're covering the medical industry, they're covering genetic advancements, they're covering intellectual, uses, whatever. It's like all of the carrots are out, all of the carrots. So it's not just your favorite pet thing, it's everyone's favorite thing is now going to be provided. And that's how wide arching its capabilities are going to be. And that's why it's so tempting to just plug right in.
Yep. Well, I see Mikey in the chat. Okay, so he's almost home. So Opa, go on. You're doing great.
So the next thing we got here is just a video that I found was quite interesting. It's a robot walking around.
I don't like that. I'm sorry. I don't like that.
This is Michigan Avenue.
I hope it runs in the street and gets hit by a car.
Imagine it running towards you, going, "Father, father,
And
father."
a car hits it, you know.
A car stopped and it's kind of like, what in the world?
And it,
So
it
he's
just-
waving at whoever's
it
in the
jumps
car.
onto the car, starts punching its windows out. No, I mean, that's
It's
amazing.
so weird because it's like
Oh,
it runs better than I would run. Honestly, I
here's
run
some
like
more-
a girl compared to that.
Who knew you run like a robot was a compliment?
I know.
Oh, look at this.
Man, that's sweet, bro.
I don't know.
Shake my hand.
Kick him.
We have now contracted. You are now mine forever. Goodbye.
I will make you my slave.
Oh, don't say that word, Jeremiah. Nuh-uh.
Why not?
It's called indentured servitude.
But what if they don't know what slavery means or is?
I simply want to harvest your energy.
Oh, I don't like that. That makes me severely uncomfortable. For real. I don't like that. Look at this guy. That's what I'd be like.
That's good.
I'd be weed whacking that thing.
Okay, so this is not AI. He's literally got a hand controller. Like an Xbox controller. He's running this thing around.
Okay, well that's okay, I guess.
That's just like a Hot Wheels without wheels.
Well, it sounds like they put a mic on it. So you could hear every you know? Now, before Mikey jumps on, Opa, did you want to kind of get in the Mikey spirit and talk about the new Toy Story?
Okay, well, we could do that.
Did you hear about that, Jake?
No, I haven't heard.
Yeah,
It's
they got-
actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, they've got a Toy Story 5 coming out next year, spring, summer. And they've got a couple of trailers out. They've got a teaser and a regular trailer, and I'm going to show both of them. But it looks extremely interesting, and I think that I don't think they're going to disappoint people or come out with one that's going to be not as good as the previous ones. So let's take a look at the teaser one that they came out with.
Oh, thank you! Hi there, I'm Lilypad. Let's play!
Oh no! It's the toys versus the new AI robot like nanny.
All right, so let's take a
that
look
crazy?
at the trailer now, okay?
When the world's gone quiet,
They want all of our
it's
children.
because something else is talking louder.
Bonnie's not looking at us. She's looking at Lilypad.
Lilypad.
We were built to be played with, not replaced.
Woody, we need you.
If imagination dies, so do we.
That's true. I mean, that's true.
We don't leave anyone behind.
Then let's show her what play looks like.
Some stories keep going, as long as someone remembers to play.
Oh my gosh, I hope they come alive and scare the child. And they go to Ed and Lorraine Warren, and Ed and Lorraine Warren are like, Ah!
So, what do you guys think about the new Toy Story 5 premise?
I mean, I think it's pretty epic. I mean, the fact that they're showing that kids are more interested in, you know, what people are telling them to be interested in is interesting. By using an iPad, they don't have any imagination anymore. They all
Yep.
think that they're the other sex.
Just playing games and whatever.
We're gonna have to have Mikey break down Toy Story because I know he's done research in the Toy Story film. So
I can tell you one thing. I saw Toy Story 2 in the theaters with Dopa probably, I want to say, over 100 times, and that is not like,
Well,
I saw it a lot. We saw it a lot.
We saw it 6 times on the first day of release.
Dude, I was obsessed with Toy Story. I'm also autism, or Asperger's is what I'll call it. I don't like saying autism because it pigeonholes something, but I loved it so much. Like Woody was my favorite. I don't know. It's just really like the heartstrings, you know. It's just
so. What term is it you prefer now? What's
it's just Asperger's.
Oh, that one's much better. I understand. Okay.
I knew you would.
All right, Opa. What do you
call
got
me Professor Asperger?
Well, I got something here that you know, Rob, Jeremiah's mom, Jeremiah, me, we're all kind of into repeating numbers, you know. 444 is when our Friday episode comes out, premieres, right? And every time we look at the clock or something, and anytime we see something like a 111 or a 333, well, apparently this is a little story that my favorite guy, Ronald Reagan, came out with, or a little joke. So let's take a listen.
You know, those people who place their bets on someone other than you is a little bit like the fellow that was going to the races. And for 3 nights, he dreamed of the number 5. So when he got to the track, he opened a program to the 5th race, and he looked down to the number 5 horse. And the horse's name was 5 by 5. Well, that did it. He bet the whole bundle on that horse, number 5 in the 5th race. And the horse came in 5th.
That's funny. Well, I see Mikey Jenny is in the queue. Can I go ahead and bring him in?
Absolutely.
Well, Skiba News Nation family, please welcome Mr. Mikey Jenny. Welcome, Mikey.
What up? You
How's
ready
it going?
to get candid with it?
Yeah. We weren't expecting this many people, but we're going to get into it, man.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I saw it up to 1,000 people, man. Thank you guys for coming in. And I saw you guys were, so how do you say your name? Opa?
Opa, yeah.
Opa. And you were at TrutherCon, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, dude. It's funny because Lucas Cameron was wearing his hat, and then Josh Keep was wearing his hat. Like, they had a blast, and
nice.
I'm just so happy you guys were there.
Dude, it was awesome. It was like, I don't want to step on anybody's toes and say like it's the best of the best, but it was really, really awesome. You guys did a great job, man.
I appreciate that, and I owe a lot of that to my wife, who's now battling an ear infection. So please pray for her. But
yeah,
I've been making these cool things for all of our speakers. Here's yours. If you don't like it, I could change it up, but I think that's a cool pose.
Yeah.
So
dude.
I have one with Josh Keith. He's doing a cool pose. I want to make like cards or something, like baseball cards, you know, like stats on there. That'd be cool. I don't know what kind of stats.
Cool. That would be
cool. This one
check
right
this out.
here.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh yeah, I drew that for him while we were there, right after his presentation.
Jeremiah Skiba art right there. It's it's Mickey Mouse. I love how Mickey Mouse's ears are the shape of the horns. If you just, if like each ear was eclipsed or something. Perfect. So you guys were talking about Toy Story, man. I used to be the biggest Toy Story fan. This is what is this? 2000 calendar, still sealed. I had like tons of paraphernalia. These are like toys from Burger King and stuff.
You got to check out my garage, man. My garage, I
Yeah?
have every kind of Woody from, I mean, not anymore, but
He's got all the Burger King, the McDonald's. Every time I went to Anaheim to work or to Disney World, I'd buy stuff and bring it back to him when he was a kid.
Yeah.
He's got basically boxes and boxes and boxes full of Toy Story stuff.
and my
And like
wife
we,
wants me to sell.
yeah, and like what he said earlier, on the day that Toy Story 2 opened, we went to 6 different theaters that day to watch Toy Story 2. And then after that, we had, I don't know, maybe not 100, but we went to at least 50 times in the theater to watch
It was
Toy
just,
Story 2.
it was just so cool to me. Like just imagining like if a toy could come alive, like when you're not there. I mean, now you think about it and you're like, oh, that's kind of creepy, but you know,
Yeah, right.
it's a cool premise to a movie. It's like if it were to come alive,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I grew up in the early 90s and I loved like Saturday morning cartoons, and I used to watch this one called Reboot, and it was like the first fully animated series. And back then it was that is crazy, Raid. It was like low budge, you know, like it was the first beginnings of 3D. Like it wasn't texturized, the lighting and the shading was minimal or whatever. And when I saw they were advertising Toy Story for a long time, I got obsessed with it. I started buying the toys and hanging them on my wall in the packages before the movie even came out. And then when I saw the movie, I fell in love with it. And I was noticing like this is the best CG I've ever seen. Even to today's standards, when you watch it, there's like smudges on, like dirt smudges on the walls and everything. And they really got super detailed with it.
Well, I have a big problem with the Woodies that they have at like Walmart. The string doesn't go all the way out, and like Woody was my favorite, and so it only goes like they've gotten real lazy. But
that's probably for some, you know, they don't want a choking hazard or something crazy like that.
I even got him a Mexican Woody.
And
Wow.
from Mexico, and it's saying "home on the range," but it was a home on the range where the deer and the antelope. Like you could tell, he had no idea what he was saying. So if I find that one, I'm gonna frame it.
So you guys were talking about some like what's in the movies. Have you guys ever did any breakdowns on that?
Well, we thought it was interesting we played the trailer, and the fact that they're talking about iPads now is taking over like imagination.
Yeah,
over like playing with toys. And I've heard a lot of conservative voices talking about it. And then I watched it, went up and played it, and I was like, man, that's really deep. Like that's really deep. Like I don't know. It's like something that you wouldn't expect Disney to put out, because Disney's notorious for, you know, messing up my childhood by casting Indian as Peter Pan. That's when they pushed me away. But you know,
I actually never seen that one. I saw the woman Peter Pan back in the day.
Oh yeah, Kathy Rigby.
Yeah, that always weirded me out as a kid.
Jeremiah.
Don't tell all my secrets, Opa.
We got Jeremiah's got an autograph from Kathy Rigby when we went to see Peter Pan here.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a tradition that women would play Peter Pan, and I always wanted to be Peter Pan before I knew what Pan was. You know, like because they don't explain that to you when you're a little kid just watching a movie, and the parents don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, Disney does a perfect job of wrapping paganism, witchcraft, lawlessness in this pretty little princess package, and we just eat it up because that's how propaganda works. It has to be in a palatable package, or else, well, at least back then. Now people sit down and be entertained by a show called Lucifer, but back in the day, it had to be packaged just right for people to, you know, allow their kids to watch it. And so I just saw one or two pushback comments on a post I made today or yesterday that had I used AI to recreate these different Disney movie covers and show them in their true light. Like Pan was literally the Greek god Pan. Little Mermaid was the little siren, because that's what a mermaid is. What was the other one? The Aladdin was my friend the jinn, which a jinn is a demon, and that's where that word comes from, the genie. And somebody was like, man, you're just thinking way too deep or whatever. It's not like that. These movies actually have good morals, and they teach whatever he said. I can't remember, friendship or something, but that's the surface level. Like, yeah, of course, everybody watches it and sees the surface level story of the movie, but there's a subliminal story to all these movies. Just like Jesus, when he was preaching a sermon, he had the surface level story. There's a sower out there sowing seed, and some landed on rocky soil, some landed on fertile soil. But if you miss the subliminal story, then you miss the whole sermon. Like, you walk away saying, I don't know, this guy was teaching about how to plant crops and how to build a house on a rock. I mean, I didn't really get anything out of it. Yeah, you won't get anything out of it if you don't understand the moral that he was trying to teach. And it's amazing when you see the template, you can see it over and over and over in almost every form of media, whether it's video game, cartoon, sci-fi, whatever. And it's like, how did we not pick up on this? That every movie is the same movie with different characters, different packaging.
Yeah, right. Hey, I don't know if I've ever shown you this, that a fan or a subscriber sent this to me. It's a Fiji mermaid. They know how much I love like weird things.
Yeah.
And they signed it on the bottom. But this is like what mermaids were. They were evil. I mean, like, look at that face. That's like, I wouldn't want to be in contact with that.
Yeah.
You know?
They would seduce men with their seductive song and stuff. And they'd kill them and eat them, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some apocryphal backstory to that in First Enoch. It hints that the wives of the Watchers were punished to become the sirens in the earth. And I can't help but to wonder if they knew the flood was coming, and if this is a legit, historical record.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't help but to wonder if they knew the flood was coming, and their like Watcher, fallen angel influenced husbands or whatever taught them how to transform themselves into these like fishy creatures that could, swim away, because the flood's coming. And man, I've always, I thought it was really fascinating that, that text actually gives like a biblical version to what mermaids are in modern, culture and stuff.
Yeah, dude, that is interesting. That's an interesting thought too. Like, if you're trying to survive the flood, just like we know, according to prophecy, that Christ is going to cleanse the earth with fire next time. He promised never to do it with water, but this time's going to be with fire. So, the elites or whoever inspired by Satan could be working on some kind of fireproof container or something, to try and survive.
Yeah, man. But before we get too deep into it, I just wanted to ask you a couple questions. Like, what were your thoughts about TrutherCon? Was there anything that like surprised you, or any speaker that kind of blew your mind, or anything like that?
Yeah, dude. The whole thing surprised me because you guys did a great job at hyping it up and promoting it. And I was like, dude, they're making it look larger than life. Is it really going to be that way when we get there? And when we got there, it was like LED screen that was super cool. Like, I've only got to do that one other time, and that was in Guatemala, ironically enough, where there's a stage and an LED screen that's the length of the whole stage, and that is your PowerPoint projector or whatever. Because a lot of times it's like, 2 TV screens on the wall or something, or a projector or something. So that was super cool. I also didn't know what to expect with Bryson Gray. Is that his name?
Yeah, Bryson
Gray, dude. Like, I saw the flyers and stuff, and I didn't think I'd ever heard of any of his music at the time. But when he came on, I was like, oh, I have heard this guy before. And that was super cool. Flat Earth Dave killed it, man. He is just super gifted at just like dropping red pills. Like, just able to debunk any kind of rebuttal that comes his way. So I love watching like how he'll have a skeptic on and they'll start to say something and you can see he's like pulling something up and then boom, he's got something up. He's like, oh, you mean like this? And how this totally disproves it. And so it was really cool getting to see him do his thing live on stage and stuff. Yeah, man, it was just amazing all around. I love that you guys really took care of the speakers. You know, you had the VIP room, you gave a gift bag, a free shirt. And you guys were very structured about time, which that's always a difficult thing.
Wife.
Yeah, that's always a difficult thing at these events. You know, it's like, and I'm guilty every time of going over. But the fact that you guys had like the 15 minutes between each time, that's important. Like I've been to events that don't have any breaks in between there and it gets tiring. It's exhausting, you know? And so that was perfect. Like everything was staggered, perfect. And yeah, dude, like it was awesome. I can't wait for next year.
Well, that was my next question. Will you please, and this is on record, we're on YouTube, will you officially commit to being to TrutherCon 2026?
If Jesus doesn't come back, I will be at TrutherCon 2026, 100%.
Yeah,
I would not miss that for anything.
We've gotten Dave, Lucas, Josh, you. I mean, everybody. I mean, it's going to be so amazing. I think that this movement is it's a movement, and it's so much fun just being around the people that we see on the screens all the time, our subscribers, and they're just so awesome. They're really awesome people.
Yeah, man. God's really opened the doors this year. I mean, there's been years gone by that I've only been to a couple little like meetups. And when I say meetups, it's not a convention. It's like everybody comes to some pavilion and we're all just hanging out and maybe one person will kind of just give a little brief thing or something. But for some reason, 2025, man, was awesome. And I was blessed to be able to speak at 3 events and they were just super cool. Like, it's really cool to get to, like you said, meet the people that you see on YouTube, but then to get to hang out with them, go out to eat with them, just have normal conversations, get to hear their testimonies because, man, you know, I am a skeptic to the core. I don't trust anyone in politics, anyone on the news and any of these things. And you have to be skeptical of even, you know, people in our community. But when you run a channel like ours talking about truth, you get people that go extreme the other way. And so, you know, everybody's a shill, everybody's a paid opposition and stuff. And so I saw a lot of those like comments coming up with some of the guests and stuff. And I'm like, did you go out to eat with them? Did you hear their testimony? You know, I like that. It's crazy. I like that I get to meet those people in person and see their character and hear their story and see that they're out here sharing the truth everywhere they go, you know, and it's awesome to be able to do that because you have to be skeptical when you see somebody behind the screen. You don't know who they are, but now I've gotten a chance to get to meet a lot of these people face to face and one-on-one and see that they're awesome people.
Am I as authentically weird as you thought?
Definitely, man. 100%, bro.
Oh, awesome. Sweet. That's
and
all I
awesome. I didn't know you were an artist, man. Super cool. You said you did that by memory. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's a part of my, you know, spectrum. We won't say the Asperger's again because Jake got too much fun laughing at that.
He's a very good artist, and he could have gotten into a different profession if he wanted.
Well, I went to college for it. I went to college for animation, and then I decided I wanted to play baseball in college, so I got went to a D1 college, and it was a Baptist college, and I didn't like it, but I liked playing baseball, and I don't know. I fell out of it.
He could have been a singer too.
I'm actually interested to hear some of that.
Well, I will say some of it is very explicit, and some of it is, you know,
the early stuff.
It tells a story, and that's what I've always tried to do, but in a non-preachy way. is
Yeah.
that like you can change over time, and that's what the album is about, but only people that are willing to understand that will. And that's the whole point of music, you know. And I know you know so much about the Hollywood industry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, God really prevented me from getting involved in that, and it was, you know, God never forces you. He gives you a lot of guidance, and you know, puts people in your path to give you certain truths and things. But I reached a point where me and my friend, we were in LA at a mansion, you know, girls in bikinis and beer everywhere and hair and wardrobe, and the cameraman worked for MTV doing reality shows and stuff. And I was like, dude, we made it. Like, we're here. And I had all my furniture moved into storage because we were like serious, like we're going to move from Chattanooga to California and make this thing happen. And I already had my clothing line on like Soldier Boys Click and all that. And I come back to Chattanooga, and my intentions were good. This is where, like, you know, we can have good intentions, but what do they say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. My intentions were because God had just woke me up about New World Order, all this stuff. And I was like, I'm going to move to California. My clothing line is going to blow up, become a famous rapper. And then when the world looks up to me and respects me, then I can tell them, you know, the Bible's true, you know, prophecy is true and all this stuff. And at that time, I was still growing. I mean, I was like not living. I had no fruit. You know, nobody would look at me and say, "There's something different about that guy. Like, I wonder if he's a Christian." There was nothing about my life that said Christian in any way, but I already had that drive. Like, I want to tell the world what God's revealed to me, because I realized that I was deceived my whole life. And like, God woke me up in an instant, December 2011, that I can't unsee the world the way he showed me. And so I was at the place. My friend was already living out there. He moved in with the girl that like helped set up the video shoot. And he was calling me every day, like, "When you coming, man? When you coming?" I was like, "I'm just saving up my money." And in that time, it was like God drew a line in the sand and said, "You can have this dream. Like, if you pursue it, it's going to happen." You see the Bud Ice sponsorships and the, you know, rubbing shoulders with celebrities, and everything's falling into place. If you do it, it's going to happen, or you can lay it all down and follow what I have for you. And at that point in my life, I was just like, whatever is true, whatever you want, that's what I want, God. Like, I'm sick of deception. I'm sick of, you know, I came to the truth, and I'm like, this is what I want. And so I remember I was going to have to call my friend and tell him I'm not coming. And I was like, man, he's not going to take this well. Like, he's been waiting on me. And I just said this short little prayer. I just said, "God, let him take this well." And I called him and I said, "Man, some things have changed in my life. I'm just not going to be able to come." And he was like, "Well, you know, maybe we can try next year or something." And I was like, that was crazy. Like, he would have never responded that way. He would have been like, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm already out here. Like, come on, you're supposed to be coming out here." And as soon as I surrendered that dream, you know, God brought to my mind when he came to the fishermen. You know, they had the biggest catch of the day, and he said, "Drop your nets and follow me." And that just sounded crazy to any sane person. You know, this is our job. We got the biggest catch of the day, and we're going to just drop it and leave it and walk away from it to follow some guy who says, "I don't even have a place to lay my head. You know, follow me, and I'm going to flip the world upside down by teaching these controversial teachings and stuff that, you know, that everybody is going to think is, yeah, controversial. Like, they're going to kill me for it." And that began a new journey, like as like a paradigm shift in my life. And I started reading, and I started really studying the Bible, because I was like, okay, I know the Bible's like 100% true. We're living in Revelation. It's happening. Like, and it fired me up to actually read the Bible. I was already Christian like 8.5 years. And now I'm like, I want to really read and study. And I started learning a lot of truths that I never heard in church, even things that were contradictory to things that I was taught in church. And I started seeing, you know, it was saying, "Be sober. We're in the last days. Satan's like a roaring lion. Be sober, be sober." I kept seeing this, "Be sober." And I was like, man, I'm never sober. Like, every day, all day, every day, it was marijuana, weed, and other things that I shouldn't be doing. And I realized I was in bondage. I was a slave to these addictions, and I kept trying to quit in my own strength. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do it today. And the very day I'd say I'm not going to do it, Satan would send somebody in the form of he'd send a minion in the form of my friends, like knocking on the door, like, what's up, bro? You know? And I started making excuses like, well, I didn't pay for it, you know, but I was willfully homeless for a year chasing my dreams. And during that time, I never went a day sober because, you know, misery loves company. So there's always going to be people that will do it with you and stuff. And finally I reached a point. It was New Year's 2013. I drank the New Year and did everything, you know, just was intoxicated. And I was laying on the couch and I said, God, I am weak, but you are strong. I said, every time I say I'm not going to do it, I do it. I said, I give you permission. Take this out of my life. I don't want it anymore. And I woke up the next day without a single withdrawal. It was a supernatural freedom that I never had. And it was all because I surrendered and I willfully gave it to him. And I never touched a substance again. And it was in that moment that God started opening up doors for me. And it was like, all of a sudden, it was like ministry and all this stuff. And it was like, I had those desires, you know, I wanted to teach the truth to people, especially the youth. Like my YouTube channel at the time was called Truth to the Youth and stuff, because Satan's really attacking our young people because he knows they're the future. And God wanted to use me, but I was not in a place to be used at that time. And it took 8.5 years for me to reach that growing place to where I was willing to let it all go. Like, I don't want anything in this world. I've actually had a taste of everything the world has to offer, and none of it is worth missing out on eternity. And none of it brings true purpose. You know, every night that I would be on stage rapping and getting the whole crowd drunk and going home with some chick or whatever, it was like, it was always fun for a night and regret the next day. And then you're trying to drink away those thoughts.
We got a super chat.
Oh, cool.
Truth train. We blow the truth train every time somebody gives us up.
Oh, that's what's up.
It scares my cat sometimes, but thank you.
So yeah, it was like, you know, when you fully surrender to God, that's when he can really truly use you. I was not in a place to be used. So I tell people, I'm like, God's not a thief. He doesn't steal anything that you're holding on to in any kind of way. And I know that I was still, like, when I said I was going to cut back, I was really holding on. But when I fully surrendered, and I thought that God was going to take away all my dreams, like everything that I loved, you know, graphic design, making t-shirts, making videos, going on tour, being place to place on stage and stuff. But God gave me those gifts, but I was using them the wrong way. And now I still get to do those things, but now I still make t-shirts, but now they glorify God. I still make videos and they expose Satan's lies. I still get invited place to place to be on stage, but not to glorify myself and get the crowd drunk, but to bring glory to him and to transform lives. And that's true purpose. And you know, I'll never have a regret about doing that. You know, when I go to these concerts and do stuff, you know, you always wake up the next day with some, you know, you did something stupid and it was a regret. But I'll never travel the world or the United States and go somewhere and say, man, I really wish I wouldn't have said that. You know, I wish I wouldn't have shared my testimony. Man, that was messed up. You know, you can never regret doing God's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super beautiful.
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, just love your testimony, man. I think it's a consistent pattern that people can seize hold of the faith of Abraham when they lay down their most beloved thing, like the one thing that you would have naturally reserved or kept the Most High from being a part of. When you lay it down on the altar, just like he laid his only, you know, begotten, his Yahid, his beloved, then you kind of, it shows that you haven't made an idol out of some earthly thing, and then he can give it back to you even, but it shows that you put the Almighty number one in your life first. So I think it's really beautiful. And Yeah, well, I know people are going to be super excited to see your presentation because you talk a little bit some about your backstory, how you were like a super big Marilyn Manson fan. You had a real big funny picture up there, and man, and just to see how far you've come from that old Mikey to what you are today, being a champion of truth. It's really beautiful. And I just wanted to just show everybody, because I literally finished it earlier this afternoon, your presentation from TrutherCon, and I'm just going to show
on Patreon.
Yeah, we just uploaded it on Patreon for anybody who wants to check it out, but it's super, super, super sweet. Here's a little preview.
Now, please join me
for
Adam and Eve, and he was keeping them from knowledge. In the search, need to be filtering it through the lens of the Bible.
Whole lot of stuff that Mikey covers, going into what TV and film.
Familiar to me.
Mikey, we would love to have you come on for a show and actually break it down for us, and I think that would be awesome. A really epic show.
Yeah, I would love to do that, man. It's really my favorite thing to talk about. This and the UFO deception, and that is, dude, that thing's coming, man. They're talking about this 3-eye atlas. You guys heard about the comet and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so NASA's just saying, oh, it's just a comet, but the one who's getting the most media is that Avi Loeb guy. And every day, the mainstream media, different ones, NBC, CBS, Fox, all of them are interviewing him. And he's like, yep, there's something new that makes this thing not a comet. It's changing color. It's accelerating. It's got these plumes coming off of it. It's, whatever. It's always, they said there's 12 new anomalies now that make it not a comet. And I'm like, dude, this is something that God revealed to me in 2012 that blew my mind, because I was obsessed with aliens my whole life. Even as a Christian, I got sucked into the ancient aliens concept. And I was like, yeah, if God created this vast universe, which now we know that's not the real model, but if God created these endless worlds out there, why would we'd be pretty narcissistic to think that we're alone? And if he created all life out there, then why wouldn't he send some aliens to lead Moses out of the wilderness? Because he sends angels to shut the mouths of lions. God sends other people on missions. And I was like, well, why wouldn't he say, okay, aliens, you got a UFO, you can go down there, you can actually, you have the technology to travel to another world, help lead these people out of the wilderness, And so I thought that beam of light was from a UFO, and that the pillar of fire was the exhaust from a UFO. And Ezekiel saw a wheel within a wheel, and that was a UFO, and all this stuff. And I totally got sucked into that from 2005 to 2012, basically. And God opened my eyes in 2012. This is not visitors from another world. These things defy physics. They walk through walls. They appear when people meditate in a field. People channel them, where the aliens talking through them. They make 90-degree turns at over 1,000 miles an hour and don't kill the occupants in there. They disappear and reappear on radar. So God was showing me this is a spiritual deception. This is Satan's final opus. His last masquerade, his final deception is deceiving the entire world. I don't care if you're Christian, Buddhist, or atheist. Atheists can actually believe that there's visitants from other worlds where they don't believe in the paranormal and supernatural. And so that's how Satan's going to appear. And with them setting the stage like this, oh, this thing is going to be here in November and all this stuff. I think we're about to see some weird stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what we do here on Sundays is we react to some current news. So you want to go down the trail with us and see some weird current news?
Definitely.
I know Jake's got some interesting stuff, and I got a comedy clip that I always play at the end, so we don't all end with like that feeling in your stomach, like that we're all about to die,
Yeah.
But it's a little comedy because I feel like comedy's important,
Yeah.
It's always important to laugh. So
Yeah. Feel free to chime in there if anything catches your eye, if you have any thoughts, and especially our audience, everybody watching, please drop a like. There's a whole bunch of you, and also leave a comment. We'll pop it into the stream here, and we'll have a live discussion with you guys. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump over here. This is a AI demonstration that just recently came out from Russia's first AI-powered robot. And it didn't go so well. They might start World War III over how bad this went.
It's Rocky themed too.
they couldn't have made it come out to anything worse.
Watch, yeah.
It's called Idol.
Oh, that's interesting. Wow.
Look at that. It's called Idol.
Here he goes.
Oh,
man. It did not go
Hey, isn't there a verse about the idols falling?
Yeah.
Well, it went about as good as the first Tesla Cybertruck.
Yeah, with the rock.
Oh man. Now here we have a different group. They're a little bit more advanced in their animatronics. Check this one out. This is that same kind that Oprah showed.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the same one.
Wow. Okay. So
now, Mikey, I was telling them earlier that thing was running, and I said that thing ran better than I did.
Oh,
and that's
I
the
saw
truth.
that.
Yeah, I would be made fun of when I played baseball because of the way I run. That robot would have been so much better.
Do these things have a face? I could see through it, but is it
No,
like, I could imagine it's some kind of like LED screen or something?
That particular one did not have a face.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool. I mean, I prefer they don't have faces.
Oh yeah. So now we've seen all these robots that are being developed by X and Elon Musk and China and Russia. Well, remember in They Live, it had those scenes where there was like these robot people chilling out, and they were being revealed.
The entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance, the human power elite.
The character uncovered that the world was controlled by entities hiding behind human form, produced by a guy called John Carpenter.
They Live is a documentary about what's going on now.
And it is. This is where the elite interbreeding with each other comes from. They're holding this particular software, this reptilian force, this archontic force, whatever you want to call it. Because this software has no empathy, they can use them as a vehicle and simply direct their behavior and create the horrific things that happen in the world. When we talk about hybrid bloodlines, we're actually talking about hybrid energetic fields. When there is a shift and the other field becomes the dominant one, anyone who is observing that shift sees it holographically. It's because the possessing entity's information field, it's impacting more and more on the field that the observer is decoding. The only place that shifting takes place physically is in the decoding systems of the brain. And so we're looking at these people and they appear to be human, but they're very different.
So I thought this clip was interesting because it's the concept that we see today already, that AI is taking over people's brains literally. Like there's been tests done with like very intellectual people that are heavily relying on AI, and their memory is going down, their ability to think independently. Like every question has to go through ChatGPT. And not to mention, had the scenes there with the robot men, walking around among us. And so not only are we automating things with these robots, like they can do our chores, we're automating our brains and allowing the spirit of Grok or ChatGPT or whatever to manifest through us, because it's telling us what to do, like the Holy Spirit, right? And it's total crazy land. Any thoughts there, guys?
Hey, how about that for our theme park? We can call it Crazy Land instead of Disneyland
Land.
or Trutherland.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing about this type of technology for years now, about voice to skull technology and hologram technology and stuff, and Project Bluebeam, and how William Cooper got sucked into thinking that aliens are real because he saw UFOs and possibly bodies and stuff. I can't remember if he saw that or not, and he was like going to become a whistleblower and say, hey, the government's hiding aliens, they're real. And then he realized, wait a minute, I'm falling into their trap. This is exactly what they wanted. They want me to convince the world. They want me to be a whistleblower and convince the world that aliens are real. But he said, but really, they're going to fake an alien invasion to bring about a new world order. And some of the technology behind that was, advanced technology we don't know about, hologram technology, but also voice to skull technology, and implanting thoughts into people's minds that, when they see a hologram of Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad or whatever, they're going to get thoughts right into their mind that they're going to feel like this has to be true because, I'm hearing it in my brain. It's not in my ears. That's some scary stuff, man. Like you said, like a false Holy Spirit.
Well, when you say voice to skull, I think of meta glasses. Because have you ever tried on a pair of those? You can literally hear it in your skull. You don't hear it through your ears.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Look into it. It's very, very creepy. But it could be cool for people that can't hear. I mean, I get that, but it could also be used for dark purposes.
That's how they always introduce technology, oh, it's going to be great. Let's microchip your brain. It can make people walk again who are disabled. And you're like, oh, that's great. And then it's like, all right, line up. Everybody gets a microchip.
What were you going to say, Opa?
I said, what?
Oh, yeah, Opa tried them on.
Well,
Nice.
check this out. This is another clip of just an expo of Xpeng's humanoid robot named Iron. And as we see this rise in technology and the merging of transhumanist agendas, where like people are putting technology into their brains and stuff, it does remind me of that iron mixing with clay vision of King Nebuchadnezzar. Like, is that what we're seeing manifest in front of us? But I mean, when you see videos like this, the robot looks so real that they have to cut the fabric away to show that's an actual robot and not a person acting like a robot.
好，我们看到这个小腿的这个肌肉，把它剪下来了。
Would you be able to tell that that was a robot? How it walks?
Somebody with a fake leg. No, that looks very lifelike.
Yeah, very, very lifelike. And I thought that as well. I was like, you know what if that's still a person acting? They just have an amputee doing this.
Yeah.
But it's not only things like that where we can't even trust our eyes. Did you know the technology in our phones' cameras every day, even in Androids, when you take a picture of the moon, apparently it's artificially adding features and textures to what you think is a natural image or photograph.
Going to my car, and I noticed the moon was still out nice and bright in the sky. So I pulled out my Samsung, and something very weird happened. At first the sky was pale blue, but the moment I zoomed in further, boom, it instantly turned black, and suddenly every crater and detail on the moon appeared perfectly clear, like I was looking through a telescope. But my phone isn't a telescope, it's a Samsung camera with built-in artificial intelligence. Now, this is publicly admitted.
They're already
when you zoom
painting
in
our
on the
photos
moon,
and videos,
the AI
and we don't
in
even
the
know.
Samsung phones recognizes it
I got something
and
to
then
say after
digitally
this.
enhances the image using stored lunar textures. In other words,
Did you guys see that? Stored lunar textures are being applied over top of your video, and you think, oh, I have the best camera in the world.
There is an entire operation that we don't know about secretly going on in our phones that manipulates our reality when we try and look at the moon. In other words, you know, what we are seeing is not what our lens is capturing, it's what the AI thinks you should be seeing. This is one of the perfect examples of how much they manipulate us, you know. They call this scene optimization, but it's basically just a visual illusion, you know. The software identifies the moon, blacks out the sky to make it clearer, and then layers in craters and detail that your camera never actually picks up. It's
wow.
That's crazy, dude.
Now
Let's
I
point
covered
that at Mars.
Yeah. Yeah, when I spoke at TrutherCon, I was talking about where I thought the fatal shot came from that killed JFK, because we were in Dallas, and I think I proved a pretty good case, I hope. But the thing that a lot of people have been saying recently is that the driver shot. But I saw the original footage, and AI has now redone the Zapruder film so much that it legit looks suspicious. And I get why people think that, but it's AI in the video that they're re-uploading, if that makes sense. It's like a weird AI filter.
That is weird. I saw that footage a long time ago, before AI. Well, before we had AI. You know, I'm sure this technology has been around for a long time, but I thought that too. It looks like the guy turns around and shoots backwards.
Yeah, but there was a piece of glass, it was like a bulletproof glass, and there was two other people, John Conley and his wife, were right in front of them. So he would have had to make a James Bond like trick move to be able to shoot him. So I mean,
was there 4 people or 6?
There were 2, 4, 6. So it would have been the driver, the passenger, John Conley's wife, John Conley, Jackie Kennedy, and then JFK. And that's why him being on that side, the bullet could only come from where I said it came from. If you want to find out where I think it came from, it's on our Patreon.
No, that's a Mandela effect, though, about 4 or 6 people.
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of people that are even in Dallas that I know personally that are like, there were only 4 people in the car. I know it for a fact. It's just so funny.
Dude.
Wow. Yeah. You know, this next clip, Jeremiah, ties into your comment earlier about neurodivergence. And this woman has an interesting perspective on how neurodivergent people, or whatever, are not easily programmable. And I would say that this relates directly to the whole concept of how they use our social media and our Facebook account and our ChatGPT kind of coercion to control the way that we think and act. And so, you know, here's a bone to you, Mr. Asperger's. I think you're onto something here.
Easily programmed. This is why they have a problem with it.
Y'all calling it neurodivergent and neurotypical. Whole time it's the programmable and the non-programmable.
Yep.
Neurodivergence cannot be programmed, which is why we are not typical. We remain unique individuals, while the neurotypical have been programmed by society to do, believe, and be exactly what society wants them to be, while we, on the other hand, are not and cannot be programmed. So we remain weirdos and unique individuals, but we are not disabled. It's not a disability. Just because we have not been able to become part of the sheep.
I think this is what the big fuss about autism was a few months ago, and other neurodivergent people. You can't program people who are in their own reality and not playing along with the one that we've constructed. And the elite, the powers that be, do not like that. They do not want that.
And I would argue that this goes full circle, Mikey, where you don't want to just be neurodivergent in terms of being a creative or artsy person. You want to be neurodivergent by walking in righteousness, you know, because whenever you think about the neural pathways and the decisions we make, we strengthen those neural pathways when we participate in our custom, in our habits, and those form stronger and stronger decision-making pathways where it becomes more natural for us to do things. But if we break out of that kind of mindset that we've been conditioned for since a young age with our film and our movies and in our classrooms if we went to public school, and even in you know, in certain books that might have passed through the safety check of our of our homeschool curriculum. You could still have been kind of coerced and conditioned, and I think that's what's really interesting is we're seeing people, if they don't have self-control, they're kind of falling into this trap, and that's why it's so wonderful. Like, we have this opportunity to use technology, like literally it's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in all of our hands. But what are you going to use it for? And that's how you prove whether you're neurodivergent or just a animal at heart, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I love that analogy because, you know, we're all, the Bible talks about that we're all sinners. We're all, our flesh is at enmity with God. There's nothing in us that wants to be good at all. The only way that we can have that desire is when the Holy Spirit is drawing us to God. And then it's, you know, then it's our free will to either surrender to the Holy Spirit and surrender to God, or to keep fighting it. And so because our natural instinct or our typicalness wants to fight God, then we need to become neurodivergent and fight against that flaw, because we're all flawed, man. We were born into sin. We're all mutated kind of in a way from our original design. And so, yeah, we need to be neurally divergent to our natural ways of thinking.
How about you, Jeremiah? Come on, that right along with what you were talking about earlier in the show.
About what exactly?
Being neurodivergent. I mean,
I think it's my superpower. So, I mean, I think, you know, whatever the Most High made me is, you know, the best.
Do you have super strength? I
do, actually. In my left arm only.
That is crazy. I looked up online something about, I can't remember what led me to look it up, but I looked up, like, do people with autism or you know, some kind of mental differences, are they extra strong? And I found this guy on Reddit that said, I just found out I'm autistic, and I think that's why I'm like incredibly strong. And I was like, this guy's crazy. But he showed a video. It was like a 20-minute video of fast-paced clips of him everywhere and these bars and everything. And this dude is breaking like wrenches, like, and bending frying pans and everything like crazy. And he wasn't, he was your build. I mean, he was not like,
oh really?
He shouldn't have been able to do that stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think I'm not like severely on the spectrum. I mean, some people might disagree. My mom never wanted to believe that I was, but later on in life, she kind of, you know, we would joke with each other, but it really is like I think a superpower. Like it's for some people, it can really like benefit how they do things, like structure things in their own mind. And it's, I mean, Elon Musk is a bad example, but he's more on the spectrum than I am. And just look what he was able to do, build PayPal and Tesla, but now he's kind of getting a little evil.
Yeah.
He always goes, yes.
Hey, there's a movie called Divergent. You know anything about that?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't recommend movies, but there is a movie called Divergent, and it's like a dystopian world type scenario. And I think there's like 4 classes of people, and one of them's called Divergent, and those are the people that really like fight the system or whatever. They're harder to control, I think, if I remember that right.
Did you guys know that what they just said in that comment?
Oh, I didn't read it.
Communication.
Telepathic
communication is in the Bible.
You'll have to make the case for me there.
Like prayer or what?
Yeah, is that what? Yeah, that's prayer. It's just a fancy way of saying telepathic communication.
Oh, yeah, it might be.
Hey,
yeah.
Never know.
Well, so it's interesting to me that these men that are rising to the top of the AI industry, seem to have fairly, anti-biblical. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Sam Altman's homosexual, right? And not only that, but wanting to fund a startup to edit babies' genes. This is the OpenAI ChatGPT boss. But then, you've heard a lot about Peter Thiel of Palantir, is also a very openly homosexual man. And so it kind of makes me think, these figureheads that are at the top of these AI companies are all representing a contrary to scripture mindset and lifestyle in terms of biblical morality. And so it's very interesting, very interesting. But if you guys have anything else to say on that, share it now, because I think I'm about to segue to some World War III stuff.
Hey, segue it, man.
I'll say something about that. When you read, if you look into what Aleister Crowley taught and stuff, he had all these different magic, spells and everything. But he said the quickest way to get possessed by a demon, basically, to have power, was to have homosexual sex. And really just sex in any kind of way that's outside of God's design. God designed it, one man, one woman in a marriage for life partners, be fruitful and multiply and all that stuff. So that's why Satan tries to make you do it in every other way, whether it's bestiality, underage, outside marriage, whatever it is, in places it shouldn't be. And those are just like messing around with sorcery. It's you're twisting God's perfect design. And so when these guys are like the richest men on earth, like Elon Musk and stuff, I'm not surprised at all that they're into this stuff, because it's probably like Pandora's box. Maybe they did it once as a pact to become rich and famous. And now it's like any sin, when you're a kid, you taste beer for the first time. It's like the grossest thing ever. But
yeah,
when you get older and you start messing with it, you're like, oh, I love this stuff, sin, the first time you do it is taboo and it feels, shameful. But the more you do it, the more easily it becomes, you become desensitized to it and it becomes more natural and it doesn't feel as taboo anymore. So I just wanted to say that, these are the elites of the world. It doesn't surprise me at all that they have this lifestyle, because that's part of who they serve. That's part of the ritual of what they have to do to become who they are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's really important to recognize that sometimes the conspiracy of the Illuminati and all that doesn't exactly have to be how the world is still perpetuating these evils. Really, the scriptures say we war not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual principalities and spiritual darkness in high places. And part of me wonders if these guys are just average guys. They struggle with their own temptations and short-sightedness in terms of keeping the Almighty's laws. Maybe they turned their heart away from it. Maybe they just never heard it. But whenever they apply their desires and their nature to their work, to their ideology, to their social circles, when they're at these high upper echelon positions, it reverberates out through society in a way that does affect us all and does bring a type of mindset or a darkness or a curse on mankind, because these people that are at the top of the corporation has a sinful tendency that, that rippling effect of the consequence of their ideology trickles down. And that's why I think this last video this will be the last one for AI this week. But it's interesting that apparently the book of Daniel possibly hinted that AI could be, this end times thing. And if these people that have a morality that is contrary to Scripture's definition of righteousness, of truth and holiness, and they insert that ideology into an all-knowing AI super god or whatever, then this is how we see the manifestation of the image of the beast coming to life. Check this out.
Daniel, he said, you'll know you're at the very end. He said, because there'll be a technology explosion called AI. That's what the Bible says. In the book of Revelation, preachers crack me up thinking I'm wrong until they go read and start crying. In the book of Revelation, it says it is a robot infused with AI that gives the command for everyone to receive the mark. Go read it. He said, I saw in a vision. Remember, the language date is different. He said, I saw in a vision. He said, and they created a statue. The word back then, which is 4,000 years ago, the word robot didn't exist. Statue did. So he doesn't know what he's looking at. He just knows it was a statue. Second thing, he said, then they had the ability to give the statue life. That's called electricity. He said, when the thing came alive, it started speaking arrogantly. And then it says the robot, or he called it the statue, that had the ability to speak, it gave a command that every person that does not receive a mark must die. Robot. And now AI isn't creating AI. And he just said, we're not impressed. It's just, I'll let it come out at the end. So let's get back to the point. He said it'll be like it was in Noah's day. The Bible says in Noah's day, the whole world was wicked, number one. Number two, it says Noah was righteous. Number three, it says out of all of the sin in the planet, it said that all men only thought about evil continually. But it only brought out the sin of sexual perversion. That's the only sin it brought out back on Noah's day. It said the angels came and slept with the women, and it produced giants. In the future, you saw that some of these giants had 5 fingers and 6 toes. Okay, and then it was, y'all want to hear something scary? I don't know why I asked y'all these questions. The Bible says that when the angels slept with the daughters of men, they produced half-breeds called Nephilim. And then it says something very scary. It says they existed in those days and the days after. Apparently we have a sister in the house that reads her Bible and thought she was crazy because she shared it with her family members. Girl, sit down, let me finish my message. It's hilarious. The stuff in the Bible is insane. And there are things, and guess what the angel told Daniel? He said at the end, not one sinner will understand anything.
Oh. So, it's really interesting, how he's making this correlation between the image that comes to life. And I can see the parallel he's trying to draw where, maybe the biblical writer back then didn't know what a robot was in our modern sense, but had a vision of these, things, beatbox and dancing and, doing the jiggy. And he's like,
just talk like this,
So
there's a king AI, I think, in the Bible. Did you know about that?
Yeah, there's a city, the city of AI as well.
City of
is
AI,
the first place that Joshua goes and conquers. And if there's a parallel with Joshua bringing the children of Israel into the Holy Land and Yahushua bringing the children of Israel into the Holy Land, then you can see maybe he's coming back to swipe out this AI transhuman army. I don't know, but
yeah,
definitely you could make those spiritual parallels.
Definitely, man. I mean, they're grooming us to accept this stuff. I mean, I just saw maybe you already talked about it, I don't know, but they showed a commercial where a dead grandma is in a phone AI. Did you see that?
Not that one in particular, but yeah,
I did. Yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah,
and it was like, yeah,
a mom was recording her mom, and she's like, "Oh, what is this?" And she's just being goofy, being herself on camera. And then the grandma or the mom of the mom passes away, and now she's got this recording of her mom, and AI analyzes it, figures out who she is, and when her son grows up, now he's walking around holding this phone. It's showing it like in the future, so it's like the whole phone is just like clear, and the grandma's talking on there, and he's saying, "Hey grandma, what do you think about this?" and all that, and the grandma's responding to him like, "How do you like school?" and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is digital digital divination. This is necromancy. Like, we are being groomed to accept necromancy as just advanced technology. And it's we see it as weird, but our kids are going to grow up thinking this is normal. Like, this has always been this way. And that's where the deception is going to be very strong.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to rapid fire through these next couple clips. If you guys have any thoughts, please interject and I'll pause the video. But we have knocking on the doorstep, basically World War III, the greatest escalation of events since the Cuban Missile Crisis is what they are saying. And this is, of course, talking about some things that are happening in South America and some things that are triggering China and Nigeria and Russia. It's all a whole bunch of escalating conflict and rumors of wars, if you know what I mean. So we're just going to blast through a couple of these. Here's this first clip, which is China warning over the reported threat to invade Nigeria that Trump released just last week.
Beijing has issued a blunt warning to Washington after U.S. officials threatened a gun-blazing invasion of Nigeria. China's foreign ministry condemned the rhetoric, calling any attempt to force regime change in the West African nation reckless and illegal. The message comes as America. Beijing.
Okay, so they're shooting back there. Now, of course, we have the news of the Chinese Navy being built specifically to fight the U.S. and to be greater than in power. And so that's why these, threats of, hey, you better not play ball in Nigeria or we're going to show up with our balls,
is astronomically bigger than what we have now. I mean, they're building like a new aircraft carrier every year. We can't do that.
In the past X number of years, 10, 12, 15, the Pentagon has a perfect record in all of its war games against China. We lose every time. China's building an army specifically dedicated to defeating the United States of America. That is their strategic outset. Take hypersonic missiles. Our whole power projection platform is aircraft carriers and the ability to project power that way strategically around the globe. And yeah, we have a nuclear triad and all of that, but a big part of it. And if 15 hypersonic missiles can take out our 10 aircraft carriers in the first 20 minutes of a conflict, what does that look like? If they've already got us by the balls economically with our grid, microchips and everything, why do they want Taiwan? They want to corner the market completely on the technological future. Can't even drive our cars without the stuff we need out of China these days. They have a full spectrum, long-term view of not just regional, but global domination.
All right. So are we possibly seeing two wars about to erupt? This is tying into a little bit of the Venezuela topic as well.
Now is getting ready for two wars. So Trump stopped a lot of the wars, right? The useless wars. But now we're getting ready to do two wars on two battlefronts. And what are those? We have strikes ready to begin in Venezuela, and I heard those can go off at any moment. We could be getting an update on your phone even during this broadcast that we're hitting sites, we're hitting targets in Venezuela. So strikes are ready to begin in Venezuela at any moment, and now Trump is telling the military to prepare for what? Nigeria, Africa. America now.
Nigeria,
Africa.
And of course, his justification was the ruthless slaughtering of Christians, which I think is probably a good thing, that we want to stop the murder of thousands of Christians. But you see those comments there, of course, preemptively, put out by the Chinese, being like, hey, you better not do that. I have a couple clips from this gentleman. He seems to have a very wide spectrum analysis of some of these things that are happening. Full spectrum survival. Shout out. Go say hi from Skiba News Nation for us, guys. I really liked some of his clips, so check out what he's got to say.
Already out there, I'm starting to see reports that they might start laying off a lot of people immediately, either during the holiday season or right after. It looks like a lot of the corporations out there are trying not to catch social media flack for letting a whole bunch of people go before the holidays, but that's their plan. They want to let go hundreds of thousands of people across the United States of America. This means that you maybe have a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two, to get ready for potential layoffs. This will affect the entire economy, and we have to prepare for it.
They're laying off the recruiters. They are laying off the recruiters.
And if you're not a recruiter like me and you're not living and breathing on LinkedIn, you're probably not seeing this. But the majority of people that I'm seeing recently laid off are the recruiters. And you know what that means? That means they're not hiring. We're not hiring. And they are going to tell you that it's because this work is being replaced by AI, but we are not there yet. Not collectively. We still need recruiters, and they're being laid off in massive numbers. And I have not seen this since 2008.
Now, the parallel between what's happening right now and the financial crisis during the 2008 period is very strong. What you're going to expect to see is a lot of foreclosures, and this is going to cause the desperate people that are already reaching their ends, their wits' end right now, to do very scary and very desperate things.
All right, so destabilization of the kind of local community because people are getting desperate. The SNAP benefits haven't come in for a month. You have the Civil War stirrings. And this is all at the same time we're seeing across the world other countries getting their armies ready for global conflict.
So we have France getting their military ready. Poland has already said they're at war with Russia. NATO says that they're bolstering their front with the Russian Federation. They say that the Soviet Union is coming back. China's getting ready to take Taiwan. There was just that secret military document that was leaked that said China might be moving to take Taiwan in days, weeks, or months from today. So if they're all getting ready, and they want you and me to worry about football, or the government shutdown, or what the Republicans or Democrats are doing, why is it so important that they distract the American people? Every day I break through these veils of lies because I want you to know exactly what is happening in your area and what it could mean for your near future. You're watching Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube, YouTube's original prepper news channel, where...
All right, so he had a couple other little clips here. Here's one breaking down some of the warnings coming out of Venezuela, I think it is.
That when Russia went in for war, we always thought that this war will last only for 10 days. Iran-Iraq war, when we saw it was there for approximately 10 years. But when it came to the ops in...
The short story here is that India is getting their military ready.
India.
China's getting their military ready. Russia's already ready.
Oh, by the way, India is getting ready too.
And the U.S. military, if you take a step back and look at everything that Pete Hegseth, the Department of War, Donald Trump, all of our military leadership are doing, they're cutting the fat right now because they know that this is about to be a global conflict. I want you as preppers to be as ready as you can be for what's about to come. Please make sure you get your food stockpile up. Make sure you have gas reserves and gas stabilizer or diesel reserves. Make sure you have kinetic tools.
So personally, I think it's really fascinating kind of how he's forecasting over the next month or two this escalation. There was a teaching recently put out by a friend of mine, Steve Mutria, breaking down the prophetic significance of the month of Shavat, which he has the opinion that when Yeshua says, pray your flight not take place in the winter or on the Shavat, that he interprets it to actually be a particular month in the winter coming up here on our heels in the midst of all these rumors of wars. So you guys should definitely go check out that Torah family hypothesis, biblical eschatology breakdown there. Any thoughts while I keep mowing through these? I know I'm going pretty fast, guys.
Very interesting stuff, man. Like I said, I've been saying since the beginning of this year, well, since right before we hit 2025, I was like, dude, 2025 is about to be crazy because this is what,
I gotta, sorry.
No, you're good.
We'll bring it back up after Mikey finishes his thought.
Like the esoteric world were predicting 2025 as being the externalization of the hierarchy and all this stuff. And then Trump was saying, we're entering into the golden age and that's the age of Aquarius. Like everything is lining up from the esoteric world, even the biblical prophecy and all that stuff, wars, it's just order out of chaos. So they got, oh, aliens are going to be here in November. The EP, I don't know if I can say that word. The EP files are about to come out. You know, all these things, Nickelodeon documentary, and what was some of the other things? You know, it's like all the secrets are just coming out of the Diddy files and all this stuff. Everything is just coming out at once, to the point where people just aren't going to know what to trust anymore. And it's just going to be like the whole, everything is chaotic, and we're just going to be crying out for some kind of order, peace, safety, whatever. You throw the Charlie Kirk thing in the mix, and just, dude, yeah, I think things are being set up for chaos, including wars. And when you get people to that desperate of a place, they're going to cry out for order, no matter at any cost.
Yep. Oh yeah, we had a comment here. Thank you, One Old Guy's Opinions. He says, meanwhile, in every one of those countries, colonial Islam takes a bigger hold of every one of those countries at all lawfully in accordance, i.e. USA, Canada, EU, Australia, prep for the Islamic Sharia law at the local level.
I've heard some of that in New York. The guy that got elected or something.
Yeah, Mondani or whatever.
Yeah, I'm so out of the loop with politics, but I've been
he's so
catching
weird
wind about it.
He was a rapper, apparently, a Bollywood rapper.
No way.
Yeah, so weird.
Well, let's blast through a couple more clips here on this World War III topic, and then we have some other interesting things, and then we'll jump over to a comedy section, because Jeremiah has some things.
I love to. I hope you have a dark sense of humor, Mikey, because I do, and I think it's hilarious. And you know, we'll get to there. But go ahead, Jay.
Breaking news, the standoff in Latin America has just taken a dangerous turn. U.S. warships are now stationed off Venezuela's coast, part of Washington's campaign to crush Maduro's regime and the cartels that back him. But Venezuela is no longer standing alone. Reports confirm that Chinese amphibious tanks have been spotted unloading at Venezuelan ports, with satellite images showing armored columns moving inland. At the same time, Russian advisors are said to be on the ground assisting with air defense systems around Caracas. This means the confrontation is no longer just U.S. versus Venezuela. It's becoming a proxy showdown with China and Russia directly involved. Analysts warn this could evolve into the most serious hemispheric crisis since the Cuban Missile Crisis. The risks are enormous. Venezuela controls the world's largest oil reserves. Shipping lanes across the Caribbean could be disrupted, and any clash could drag NATO, Beijing, and Moscow into the same battlefield.
Very interesting. And there's a mandatory draft going out in multiple countries. Check this out.
Draft, get this, mandatory draft, while allegedly we possibly have Russia all over our coast, New England, Hawaii, the East Coast. Very mysterious signals going off over Europe as we had these nuclear hunting, sub-hunting ships going up and down the East Coast all day yesterday. And completely unrelated, yesterday was the day they released all those emails about that island man saying, hey, look over here, guys. So again, 1000% unrelated. Everyone's been watching the news about the island guy, about how the president was able to dodge all the questions on the island guy. And the entire freaking time, we had all this going on the East Coast and reports coming out of enemies being very close. It's wild because on my show yesterday, this was the first thing I showed. I was like, it's crazy how this is happening right now while these emails are being released. But no, totally not. That's not why they were just released yesterday. Okay, now drafts, and then we'll get to Russia. Germany has just reinstated the automatic draft for all males, even females 18 years or above, to go ahead and get their physicals. Remember at the beginning of the video I mentioned some weird signal over Europe? So if you knew geopolitics, tell me why one of our allies would have to do a draft and end up doing a lottery pick if they don't have enough people. What's it for? Now let's see what was happening yesterday while everyone was distracted.
Right now, this afternoon, we have U.S. nuclear forces on very high alert. What you're looking at here is a flight tracker, and we can see a U.S. Navy sub-hunter aircraft flying up and down the eastern United States along the East Coast, and it was up here near Maine and Cape Cod And
I wonder what they're looking for. Now, completely unrelated, we've had reports of possible Russian ships out by England, but also verified late October we had Russian ships near Hawaii. So possibly New England, definitely Hawaii, which they did not even tell us. Crazy action on the East Coast, this happening in Russia tonight, and now we have military drafts in Germany.
Military drafts all over the place. I got to ask before we show this next video about the draft. Opa, would you dodge the draft or would you go? Well, I mean, I got to ask because you lived through several draft eras of American history.
He has an interesting story about the draft.
Yeah, I actually, when we had lottery numbers, my number was like, God, I can't remember, but it was like 15, something like that. So it was, I was going to go. I was going to have to go to Vietnam. But as it turned out, I was taking a chemistry lab, and there was an accident in the chemistry lab that the teaching assistant poured hypochloric acid all over my hands.
Whoopsie.
And it really messed up my fingers so that they were all pussy, you know, all of the oil glands and everything got kind of messed up. So I went to a doctor, he gave me some salve, and then I got my induction notice. So I had to go up for my pre-induction physical. And when I got through with my pre-induction physical, the sergeant who was reviewing all of the tests and all this stuff said, I see you put down skin disease. What's your problem? And so I held up my hands and they were really awful looking. And he said, what is it? And I said, well, I don't know. I mean, doctor's giving me some kind of salve or something. So he told me, well, you know, give me the doctor's name. I don't know if it'll do any good. So I went ahead and made arrangements to have the Air Force come out, and I was going to sign up with the Air Force. I didn't want to go in the Army. I'm not a Navy guy, and certainly I wasn't a Marine. But anyway, the recruiter was going to come out that day, and I got the mail, and they reclassified me, so I didn't have to go. So I had to call the Air Force guy and say, I'm sorry, I'm going back to college. I'm not going to sign up today. He said, oh, but you can still sign up even if you're reclassified, you know? So to answer that question, kind of, yeah, back then, I probably would not have gone to Canada. I would not have refused to go into the service. Today, I don't know. It just kind of depends.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, sorry, my Charlie kind of messed up my camera. I'm trying to fix it. But I will say, did you hear, have you ever heard the story about Jim Morrison swallowing tinfoil to dodge a draft? Isn't that crazy?
Got a toot.
Oh, yeah. Sorry you can't see me, guys, but...
he said one old guy's opinion says Islam followers still to this day stone and behead for adultery, blasphemy. Russia is a red herring. The enemy is already within our borders and they're going to take over government institutions. Pike said World War III will be against Islam. He's referring that Mikey, have you ever seen that alleged 3 World War letter that Albert Pike supposedly wrote about?
No, is it in Morals and Dogma or what?
It's a letter that apparently is I think it's a pseudepigrapha, but it has some really compelling statements about the 3 world wars. And the First World War is to, you know, stop the old oligarchy way between all the fighting cousins, and then the Second World War is to establish the current system of America as this empire of, you know, New Babylon with all the mixture of religions. And then the final World War is where all of the religions are turned against each other to annihilate themselves and pave the way for true Luciferianism. And Now, I don't know if it was actually Albert that wrote it, but it definitely seems to be the playbook somebody is trying to, play by.
Right.
Probably Charlie.
Yeah.
Because I cannot get this camera to turn on.
Unplug it, plug it back in.
I've tried. I'm going to use a different cord.
Yeah. There's several other things happening in the world today. I'll just run through real quick. Mexico is absolutely imploding. National Palace in Mexico City. Violence there being committed against the police. Oh man, there's just so many things. I wanted to show this video. This is actually the Venezuelan Maduro guy making a public statement on his perspective of the U.S.'s involvement in Venezuela, which, look at this from like China and Russia's perspective. They're like, yeah, the U.S. has played proxy wars with us in Ukraine for far too long. Time for us to play that same game against them.
Porque Venezuela está enfrentando la más grande amenaza que se haya visto en nuestro continente en los últimos 100 años. 8 barcos militares con 1.200 misiles y un submarino nuclear apuntan a Venezuela. Es una amenaza extravagante, injustificable, inmoral y absolutamente criminal, sangrienta.
Yeah, so Russia's hearing that. They're like, okay, we'll send you a bunch of missiles. There's other atrocities happening across the world. I don't know if you guys have caught some of this footage of the scale of Sudan genocide. These are like satellite images apparently of like all of these executions that are happening all over. And I believe they're murdered. I mean, you can see like alleged like blood spatters from space, supposedly because of all the people that are being, taken out, so to speak. Just really, really terrible stuff. And this goes right alongside. That was in Sudan.
Wow.
And this goes right alongside with what some of one old guy's opinion is sharing with, the followers of Islam beheading, stoning, murdering Christians, just like in Nigeria. And here's something a little bit in a different note. Apparently, Barack Obama is going to be jailed for treason. Haven't we heard that for a long time? But they're coming out saying that there is some type of proof, and I find that interesting. Check this out.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. At President Trump's direction and with the support and coordination with the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Rick Crawford, today we've released a declassified Oversight Majority Staff report that was produced in September of 2020. The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence and credible intelligence that disproved their false claims. They disobeyed traditional tradecraft intelligence community standards, and withheld the truth from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016. They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a years-long coup against him and his administration.
Obama committed treason.
Obama committed treason. So in the midst of all of this war talk and all the things, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Obama did treason. You know, look over there. You know, don't mind that they're coming out from the.
You guys are gonna love my. Please excuse my sense of humor because it has an Obama thing in there that you're gonna like.
Oh man. Well, we have I think just two last little videos here. This last video is Netanyahu calling the US the new Rome. And we've had some really interesting clips on here, Mikey, of Netanyahu saying that they are waging active war ideologically through our social media companies, TikTok, Facebook, and they are actively buying elements of like ChatGPT to like rewire how it spits out information about the modern nation state of Israel. Wow. And then when you hear, okay, at first he's like joking around here with Pompeo, but then listen to what he quotes in a personal interview after this press briefing, where he's basically like, yeah, Israel has to win the next war versus Rome, and that's what I'm reading about right now.
A visit today to the wall. I can't resist repeating this, but I'm going to. I said to the secretary that the last time Pompeo visited Jerusalem didn't end that well. But this is a different time. Rome and Jerusalem clashed over values with a great tragedy for the Jewish people. But the new Rome, the United States, views itself as a new Jerusalem.
We want to know what you're reading now.
What I'm reading?
Yeah.
It's a book by a historian by the name of Barry Strauss. It's called The Jews Against Rome. Jews Against Rome.
What made you pick it up?
Well, we lost that one. I think we have to win the next one. We had a moving visit today.
So
wow, dude.
Just comes right out there and says it.
Highly prophetic, calling America the new Rome.
Yes, yes. And what we see with the rhetoric coming out of the revival spurred on by Charlie Kirk's assassination is right before that you had a lot of Trump's big speeches saying we need to marry the church and state again. We need to bring God back into the state. But then the question is what God is coming back to roost? And because historically the Roman Empire was this amalgamation of politics and religious power, you know, as the Caesar would set himself up as a god, you know, in a mortal body or whatever. And oh man,
they've called Trump Constantine, and they put him on a coin as Cyrus, and he had a golden image of himself on his official social media stuff like Babylon. So he's been associated with Babylon, with Greece, and with Caesar. So Rome, not Caesar, Constantine. So you got Constantine, Rome, you got the golden image, which is Babylon, you got Cyrus, who was Greece, right? Yeah. So that's like there's 3 of the 4 medals. Medo-Persia is the one, the other one. But it's interesting that he's being compared to all these leaders of the medals of that statue.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you definitely get Nebuchadnezzar vibes like in 2020, where everybody was told to bow at the sound of the you know what word, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Man, it's the age we live in is so interesting. You know, the prophets long to see these days because in the midst of this darkness, you have the manifestation of the sons of light, the elect, you know, come out of Mystery Babylon, so they don't partake in her plagues or judgments. But like, that's what's like, people got to get in the right mindset, because while we have all these balls to juggle and it's getting really depressing, man, if you hold tight to the Almighty and you're one of his beloved, the one of his, preserved ones, that stand strong in the fires of the tribulation, man, it's going to be awesome. You're going to have an awesome story, right?
Yeah.
So last video news wise, but then I'm going to share a funny video and we can get to Jeremiah's. He's got an awesome segment for us, but this is just a guy saying, I'm watching TV, and it's basically proof that they're preparing for the next big event, right?
Funding for first responder personnel and vehicles would be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of national population being affected by classified. This funding shall commence in conjunction with the first attack on classified, or the first large-scale outbreak of classified, dependent upon which comes first. Civilian and military units shall be trained in containment and combat of classified, including irradiated classified, with possibility of classified airborne, classified flesh-eating, classified, and or all of the above, in such event as classified spewing, classified escape, are released or otherwise become uncontrollable. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified due to their enormous size and otherworldly strengths. Should event occur in urban areas, Jesus.
So it's like,
that is
crazy.
But I have to clear the air and say something here. That was actually from The Onion 17 years ago, which is a satire website. I remember when I first saw that, when I was starting to wake up to stuff in 2012, I was like, whoa, what in the world? They said flesh eating and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I looked it up just to make sure.
Good on you.
Good on, yeah.
Trying to fact check everything, keep it all true.
Oh yeah, keep it straight. I mean, it's just so interesting that as we have this whole year heard UFO reports and extraterrestrials, this or that, it makes me think that while that might have been an Onion piece from so long ago, it's closer to reality.
Yes.
Now more than ever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can watch these movies that used to be sci-fi, and now it's like, oh, it's our current day, like Minority Report and They Live and all that stuff.
1984.
Yeah, prime example.
Well, last video for me this evening, guys. This is a funny clip of how the Second Amendment was added to the Constitution. And don't get me wrong, I know the scripture's like live by the sword, die by the sword, but I can't help but to think this is like one of the funniest renditions of how this amendment was added in the number 2 position.
That is the second most important principle of our nation.
Guns.
Excuse me?
Guns.
I don't hate that. Well, I do. It's ridiculous. Sir, what is your name?
Matt.
Matt what?
Matt, don't you worry about it.
Well, Matt, what will posterity say of us if the second right we enshrine in this document is simply guns?
That we don't play.
Damn, that's actually kind of sick.
Yes. No. The idea is ludicrous.
Wait, now hold on. I mean, we did just make a law that said anyone can say whatever crazy stuff they want, right? Maybe this gun thing would kind of balance that out.
Bingo.
Okay, yes, but by the same token, wouldn't having a gun embolden people to say crazy stuff as well?
Bro, what?
Yeah.
What? Make that make sense.
Gentlemen, we cannot just have an amendment that says guns. What about guns?
Having them.
Ooh. Love it. Smart. Like, who is this guy? Why isn't he running this?
Matt, I am open to discussing guns for a later amendment, but I must insist we move on to a more pressing concern. You're screaming.
So angry.
Sir, where are you from exactly?
America.
Yes, but where in America? Which state?
A united one.
Oh, wow. Well said.
So true.
Can this guy, be on our money? Who is this guy? Have guns, really, gentlemen? That's what we want the Second Amendment to be. Have guns. That sounds idiotic.
Just chill. Not have guns. Bear arms.
Ooh, that is so good!
Yeah, that sounds smart as hell.
Yeah, okay, I'm friggin' sold. I'm writing it down. Amendment to the right to bear arms. I just got chills.
Yeah.
Well, my work here's done.
Wait, Matt, will we ever see you again?
Depends on where you look.
Into the Breakfast Club, like.
Oh man. Well, Jeremiah, over to you, bro.
All right. Well, as I always say, it's time to laugh. It's always good to laugh. And now we have a please excuse my sense of humor. And if you enjoy, tell me your favorite joke, or not joke, but video. And if you're offended by any of these videos, I'm sorry that you can't take a joke. So, Opa, can we play that?
See how there's no windows on the side? And see underneath where there's like a pod thing? What's that, right? Take a look at this wreckage. See how there's no plane parts on the ground there? What does that look like?
This guy was taken out. He was putting too much truth out.
What did I hit? Not again! What is this? Where are the banners, the columns? This is Berlin, yet it is different. Happy Pride, old timer! Nice costume! Costume, nice!
Man, I'm just sitting here thinking about how nothing could be worse than 9/11. Boom! 9/11!
Being First Lady of the United States was exhausting. I mean, I had two teams that had to get me ready to go outside every single day. One team put my makeup on, and the other would wrap my dangling dong around my leg, so it wouldn't dangle all of a sudden on some public event or whatever. But then I had to pee. That. You know how hard it is to unwrap your dangling dong every single time you have to pee, and then to wrap it all over again? That shit was exhausting.
Put that one in every week. They keep trying to distract you with psyops. But Charlie's like
cat is awakening. Look at the cat. He's like, I know it's up. Oh no.
That's Charlie right there.
That's how you get smothered at night.
Shout out to Opa for sending me this one.
Superman saves the day again.
In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, I bind every unclean spirit in this creature. You have no hold here. Fire of the Holy Ghost. It's on the wall. By the power of the cross, I command you down. Yeah.
Vice presidential. Did you talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren?
They're demons. They're frickin' interdimensional invaders, okay? I'll just say it. Make fun of me all you want on CNN or wherever, but everyone already innately knows this. These people are not frickin' humans, okay? Hillary Clinton is a goddamn demon. Excuse me, taking the word. It's not taking it in vain. She is a demon damned to hell. Excuse me.
Back with some more Kid Pick sounds, and I'd like
Jake,
to
did you play Kid Picks? Anybody play Kid Picks?
No, I never played.
Mikey?
Virtual Lincoln
Anybody in the
logs.
chat? This was
One
my
of my personal
game.
favorites. Rings of Power. A real fan favorite. Whatever this is.
It's like so
For
nostalgic.
whatever reason, this is the one that really unlocks parts of my brain I haven't
But I bet
accessed
you I
in
know who
20
she
years.
voted for.
Some of you were begging for this one. I heard that some of you spent a lot of time with the undo guy.
I gotta get this for my daughters. It looks like a fun drawing game.
I got in trouble for doing something on Kid
I
Pics
think
once
this could be another fan
in my
favorite.
Christian school.
Is
I'll
it
tell you about it
online
later.
or what is this?
And the grand finale.
It was like an old PC game, I think.
Like Paint, but with more effects.
Hey, how about on The Wizard of Oz? Now, that picture, they show it once a year, and it must cost $300,000-$400,000.
Where's the money?
Yeah, well, I know. Do you get a penny of that?
No.
Oh, I see. Well, what about the...
Isn't that crazy?
How about the what?
The Munchkins. Munchkins.
I
What?
know
Yeah. Well, what the Munchkins do?
Well, they were...
They're
they
little
were very
dwarfs, huh?
tiny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Were they little kids or were they
They
little
were
men?
drunks.
They were little drunks?
Yeah, they were...
What they... What they... You got me stuttering. What did they do? What did they do?
What did they do?
What the dwarfs do?
But one of them, who was about 40, a gentleman asked me for dinner, and I couldn't say, I don't want to go out. I can't because you're midges. And I just said, no, my mother wouldn't like it. Oh, come on, bring your ma, too, you know.
How big was he?
About 2 inches high.
What could you do with it?
I don't know.
What could he do? I mean...
Oh, I don't. They haven't did a lot because
there was a lot of them.
Oh, you have hundreds of thousands, and they put them all in one hotel room, not one room, one hotel in Culver City, and they got smashed.
I think she was had a little
and
too many.
And they pick them up in butterfly nets.
Pick them up in butterfly nets.
Was she Snow White or something in an old film?
No, that's Judy Garland. She was in Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
Julep
okay.
in their nose, you know, and they come on. Oh, poor.
She looks like a different person, though.
I'm
That's
not
Dorothy.
This is Dorothy?
That's Dorothy. That's Dorothy.
Go ahead, buddy. Let's see what you
This
got.
is the best one.
Nintendo 64.
Whoa, this one's heavy.
Yes, look at this.
What is it?
It's the FC files. Real one.
Oh my God.
You wanted the...
The Epstein files. So,
Crazy.
I hope you guys enjoyed my latest iteration of Please Excuse My Sense of Humor. And if you got offended, like I said, I'm sorry that you can't take a joke. So
I love
that's
it.
all I got to say. Awesome.
Especially
I
the
got
9/11
one.
ones.
I got one last little funny to show you. Basically, it looks like we're going to have to update a lot of our idioms that we've been using over the years.
What'd you call me?
Idioms.
I'm just kidding.
Idioms. So this is one of the idioms now that we're going to have to start updating. A nickel for your thoughts? There are no more pennies.
That's true. Wow.
I saw they're marking the last 5 pennies with an omega symbol, and they're gonna have a bidding war for them, and they're gonna go into like the millions of dollars value. But there's
Oh
like
my
5 pennies that are the last 5 they're minting, and they have a little omega symbol on them. That's how you know you have a special one.
And there's only 5.
Would you take a Bitcoin over a last penny?
No, I'd take a penny, man. I take the last penny. Who needs a Bitcoin? Whatever.
Right. It's a stupid invention.
Dave Weiss has 3 of those up for grabs. Anybody can get them at any time. You just got to prove the world's a ball.
Right.
Free Bitcoin.
By the way, I like kid pics. So
Yeah. Opus set that up for me when I was a kid. So the kid pics was so cool. But I'll tell you a story. When I was in I had to be like 2nd grade. There you could like put like animals. So I put like a cheetah, and then there's this gloop effect that looks like poop. And I made it poop. And I got in so much trouble at a Christian school that I had to sit outside in the hallway for about 15 minutes. And I was so offended that they didn't like my joke. So now I have a show.
That was what they
where I
used
do
in
that.
school.
Yep, and in my Christian school.
Okay.
I don't know if they use it in public.
Yeah, we had something else. I can't remember what it's called. But you could animate stuff frame by frame. I love doing that. So that's where you got some of your practice for animation in. I used Mario Paint. That was a good one on Super Nintendo. You guys mess with that?
I didn't know. Could you animate with that?
Yeah, if I remember right, Mario Paint. There was another one I had too. It was like a, man, I can't remember what it's called now. It was some kind of like drawing pad thing that you hook into the AV jacks of your TV, and you could draw and do a couple little frame by frame animations.
That's awesome. Yeah, Opa got me this Lego Movie Maker thing where it was like you could take a Lego and you could literally make a Lego movie, and it was Steven
motion.
Spielberg. And it stopped working. Like it just they don't do it anymore, and so it's like one of the most collectible Lego things you can get. It's like one of those stop motion cameras. It's pretty cool.
My old PC game of choice was Putt Putt Saves the Zoo. Do you guys remember that one?
No.
How about Gus Goes to Cybertown?
Oh
I
man,
don't remember that either.
yeah.
Ski Free.
We're all like hitting and missing each other.
Nobody remember Ski Free?
It's all nostalgia. You know, we all had different nostalgias.
Yeah.
Well, that's Jeremiah's. Not to me. I didn't have anything. I had to play with real toys or wooden things.
It's like that Toy Story
like Toy
5
Story.
right there.
Yeah. Well, Mikey, we appreciate you coming on the live, and we hope to do like a legit interview with you soon.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for having me on. This was a blast, man. I love, looking over current events and getting to be up to date on what's going on. I didn't know a lot of that stuff with the war updates and stuff. And this world's getting crazy, man. We lost the penny this year. I mean, that's big.
No.
That's just like the little step towards going all digital. Even that happening in 2025, I think is a big deal because, pretty soon they'll be like, you know what? We need to stop cutting down trees for paper money. Everything's digital. And once everything's digital, that's when you can fully control what people do. I think everything's going to go to a social credit system where if you do anything that they consider immoral, then your social credit score goes down and you don't get to, spend money on groceries or whatever. Pretty soon with AI taking over everything, that's what Elon Musk said. He said, AI is going to take over so many jobs that we're going to have to use some kind of new universal credit system because, there's not going to be enough jobs. We're just going to have like allowances. But I think it'll eventually be like, if you don't go to the universal church of coexist, then you really don't you don't have enough credits to even survive. So I really see things going that direction, especially, with the penny going away and all that, we're moving that direction.
Well, how can our subscribers find you and find your work? I mean, they can go in the description, but why don't you tell them where they can go look you up and subscribe?
Yeah, if you guys want to see some of the stuff that me and my wife cover on our channel called Candid Truth on YouTube, we got a lot of videos that are already out. We're really putting our finger on the pulse of things that are going on, prophetically tying in current events like the 3-Eye Atlas, like Trump stuff, things that are connecting with prophecy right now. And even like my wife does these deep dives onto the pagan origins of things like holidays and the Olympics and all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's plenty there to what they call it, binge watch and just learn a lot. And we're learning new stuff all the time, and we'd love to have you guys over there in our community of where we're just growing and learning truth.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you again, and stay on until after stream, and we'll talk a little bit more. But thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you next Friday for a new show.
The flip side.
Soon. I think we have a couple specials, and we got that documentary coming out. So you guys stay on your toes because there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. Not to mention all the new stuff on Patreon, including Mikey's presentation from this year. So we'll see you guys over there.
All right, guys. Later.
See you guys.